I'm gonna take it with me.
You always have a turkey on your work crew?
Yep.
Just better get out of here. We'll make some fajitas.
Tacos.
Tacos, yeah.
Yeah. 1,000 pesos. That's what I call in Mexico. 1,000 pesos.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what's up, guys? It's Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and today is a very exciting day. We are finally starting our equipment shed project that we've been leading up to for a while. You know, guys, I had the Kato mini excavator and took out a bunch of trees, had some gravel delivered, working on the pad. Today was the day to start. And this morning when DJ and I got home from the gym about 9:30, there was a semi setting at the end of my driveway. And I wasn't planning on them delivering everything on a semi. And we don't exactly live close to the road. And there is no way you can get a semi down here to my house. So this morning was interesting, for sure. Well, DJ and I just left the gym, pulled in our driveway, and there's a semi sitting at the end of my gate. And that's because our equipment shed's here. I'm not real sure how we're going to get all this material to the house where we're going to build the shed. They called on Friday and said they were going to deliver all the material on Monday. It's Monday morning about 9:30. And they said it's all loaded on a semi. I said, well, where I live, it's kind of hard to get a semi in. She said, well, we can probably load it all on a flatbed and tow it with a 1-ton. I said, well, we can get that in. It's going to be an interesting day. So my guess is we're going to have to offload all the material. Luckily, he brought a forklift. I've got my trailer hooked up to the truck, and I've got my tractor with pallet forks. Don't have the skid steer here, so I can't move it with skid steer. So it's going to be interesting. But everything's here, and we're fixing to build an equipment shed. All right, so here's the game plan. He went and turned his truck around, and he is going to back in my driveway, similar to the way we did when we had the Kato excavator delivered here. Except he's going to back all the way down to near the creek, and then we're going to unload there and use his forklift that's on the back of that and my tractor and start hauling material one little load at a time. It's a little complicated because of where I live. We can't just pull in the gate, unload the trailer, and go on. It's a little different back here in the backwoods, I guess. You know, if he turned that around and go the other way, he wouldn't have that beeping alarm, right? I can't help myself. Sorry, guys. So those are what are going to go in the ground. I think they're concrete, but I think they're called permacolumns. So instead of setting wooden posts directly in the soil, you know, digging a hole and setting those in the ground, since this is not going to be a steel structure like my other shop, we opted for these concrete permacolumns. So there won't be any wood in contact with the ground. Okay, I just missed that on video. He just turned those tires sideways on the front. So now he can drive. Oh, okay. Well, not going to need to put him on a trailer then, because he can drive them that direction. That is stinking cool. Look at that. Look at that. Oh. That's cool. Look at that. That is about the most clever machine in the world right there. You can drive forwards, backwards, and sideways. Well, I had to go park the tractor, but there's not much I can do against a machine like that. Now we got a traffic jam because got crew coming in behind me to start digging holes and setting these posts and stuff. This is going to be a wooden post frame building. Like I said, most of what I've done around here in the past are steel structures, steel pole barn is like what my shop is, a steel pole barn. This is going to be a wooden structured pole barn, but got these concrete permacolumns to keep us from putting concrete right on the ground. I mean, from putting the wood right on the ground, not concrete. Last trip with the forklift. Got all the rest of the materials down here. Sheet iron was a long, slow drive. It's taken him a while to get here. But everything else is here. Trusses, concrete permacolumns, turkeys. We got Charlie helping. Whole crew's out today, I guess. Larry's supervising from a distance. He was up here close. I'm telling you, that machine right there, that's to catch me out. Look at those tires. Oh my goodness. Wheels turning all different directions. This guy's done a heck of a job. It's 2 o'clock. They got here at the semi at 9:30. He's put in a lot of trips back and forth. My tractor was not much help, but that's the last load. Everything should be here now. Crew's getting started. They're fixing to square everything up. They're all mesmerized by Larry and Charlie and the turkeys and everybody else. So listen, you need to stay out of these guys' way, okay? You can watch, but don't touch, all right? Well, just have a seat, buddy. Lay down, relax, watch the show. These guys are going to put some work in today, okay? Listen, you're going to have to get out of here, turkey.
Take it with me.
You always have a turkey on your work crew?
Yep.
She better get out of here. We'll make some fajitas.
Tacos.
Tacos, yeah.
Yeah. 1,000 pesos. That's what I cost in Mexico. 1,000 pesos.
Really?
Yeah.
So it took from 9:30 until about 2:30 to get all of the materials just brought back and forth with that really awesome forklift. But the company that's building our equipment shed for us, it's kind of a long story, but I'll make it real short. So when I first started talking about needing to build an equipment shed to put the skid steer and the excavator and, you know, attachments and things in, talked about it on video and was trying to come up with some ideas. One of you guys, one of the folks that watch our channel, reached out and said, hey, I build barns for a living. I'd love to design you something. So his name's Frank, and we went back and forth in email for a while. Finally said, listen, let's figure something out because I need an equipment shed, and this is what you do for a living. So Wolf Barn and Supply, that's who's here, and we're building a wooden post frame building. I'm a little bit concerned about putting wooden posts in the ground, basically because this barn is the shed's going right next to a ditch. So Frank was like, well, if you don't want to put wooden posts in the ground, which is perfectly fine. I mean, there are hundreds of barns and thousands of barns around Oklahoma and Texas and everywhere that have wooden posts in the ground. But I was just like, I'm used to using steel. My shop down here's got steel posts and, you know, everything. It's just kind of what I'm used to. So he came up with a solution, and that's these concrete permacolumns. Basically, it's a pre-made, prefabricated concrete pier that goes down into the ground, and then the post will bolt on top of that, and it keeps all the wood away from moisture, because wet soil decays wood and termites and different things, and we're way back here in the woods, and I know termites would probably be a problem. Anyways, let's go check on these guys. They're getting started. Man, that is some dark black soil right there, isn't it? Real heavy clay. And like I said, it will hold a lot of moisture, so I just feel better putting a concrete post in the ground versus a wooden post, because these perma columns are going to sit all the way down into the ground up to probably about right there. And then we're actually going to pour some concrete in the bottom of the hole, probably 2 or 3 bags of ready mix type concrete, just for added weight, and we don't have to worry about the wind pulling this thing up out of the ground and flipping it over. Excuse me, ma'am. Are they doing a good job? Yeah? All right. Listen, dude.
Oh!
Really? You just scared the poop out of her. Hey, you got a better vantage point?
¿También chueco el güey?
Sí.
Le buscó el lado.
All right, y'all, day 2, starting early. Well, nobody's actually starting. It's 5:30 in the morning, and I had a ball game to go to. Emily had her season opener, slow pitch softball game last night. So we left before the crew here left, and they said they were going to work dark to dark today. Well, it's dark, and they're not here. Like I said, it's 5:30. They'll probably be here by 6:15, and going to get started. They told me, Mario said, they would be done with this barn on day 2. So I'm going to go to the gym early this morning, get home so I can be back here. And I kind of want to be here. So not that I'm going to do a whole lot. These guys are good at what they do, and I don't want to mess that up, but I'm going to video and make sure they have everything they need. So I'm going to head to the gym and be back in a little bit. All right, you 2 supervisors, you want to go take a look on the equipment shed, see how it's going? These guys have been here for probably an hour and a half this morning. They'll get some work done. All right, Charlie, can you give us a progress update? They seem to be doing everything up to your standards? And their music selection's a little different than ours, huh? I don't know if Mom could do a song of the video for this one for us, huh? Huh? All right, looks like they're doing a good job to me. The guy up top's a little braver than I am for sure, but we're making some serious progress quickly today. I think he should do some CrossFit. I think he'd be good at it. I think we're fixing to start hanging trusses. I got my tripod set up with the GoPro up there. It's a very fancy tripod, but it works, right?
Horas tomando mi dulce, me puse borracho haciéndote unas canciones. Aquí en mi habitación pensando en mis errores y esperando que el alcohol me dé soluciones.
You're not gonna believe this, dude, but I bought a new hat. See, I got a new hat, and it came with a barn. It's done, guys. Like, done. Well, I've still got the mess to clean up, but the barn, the equipment shed is completely finished and ready to be put to use in less than 2 days. 2 days. Actually, today is day 3. They just left. But these guys, so you saw delivery of the material came at 9:30. They didn't get started working. The crew didn't get here until about 1. So they worked until dark on the first day, all day yesterday, and thought they were going to finish. But had to come back and finish the roof and finish a few screws and clean up and all that stuff. But they were gone by 10 o'clock this morning. So in less than 2 full working days, these guys completely finished this 30 by 50 equipment shed. Yeah, I'd buy that hat any day. It comes with a barn. Holy moly, these guys worked so fast. They were amazing. DJ and I went to the gym this morning, and they were just getting here when I left, and I thought, well, they'll be here for a few hours, and they were done by the time I got back, and most of the crew was gone. The crew boss was still here. You know, he hung around and waited on a check, which I understand. But the crew had left, and I said, man, Mario, tell those guys, do me a favor, tell them they did an excellent job for their first time. Not really. These guys do this all the time. And it was impressive watching them, because I know this is just a shell and a 3-sided, equipment shed, 30 by 50. But for a little perspective, my shop back there that is 40 by 50 with a 20 by 50 lean-to on the back, not including this side over here. the back lean-to. Anyways, steel framed. Obviously, it was welded up, but just the shell alone, I built it. My brother and I built that barn. It was a barn back then, ourselves. It took me about 6 months. 6 months, Bear. Welding takes a little bit longer, but when it's just two guys that really don't know what they're doing, it's nothing compared to a 6-man crew that does this all the time. So, as you can see, there's the cantilevered roof. That sidewall right there is 24 feet deep, and then we've got an extra 6 feet of overhang just to kind of block the rain and the sun and all that stuff. So I think this will be perfect for parking equipment in. We can store, you know, implements in here. We can store some hay in there. Pretty much everything we need. Some of you are probably going to be a little concerned, why does your shed not go all the way to the ground? And the simple answer is because my ground's not level. I did somewhat make a pad here. It's just gravel, it's just rock. But we started over here. We want to keep everything off the ground. So the only thing in contact with the soil, obviously, is concrete, those permacolumns. And I'll leave a link to their website. This is totally, an independent product. This is just something that Wolf Barns has as an option that you can install to keep your wooden posts from the ground. So I'll leave a link to their website, totally separate. But the only thing in contact with soil forever should be concrete. And that just makes me feel better. Not that these things wouldn't last in the ground for decades, but it's just a soupy, muddy mess right behind that back wall. And as you can see, this is some heavy clay soil that holds moisture. So I just didn't want wooden post in contact with the ground. And that's just because I'm typically a, metal structure. Wooden posts are not something I usually do. So this is cool. And yes, we are a couple feet off the ground over there. I can always come back and, get some bigger rock and pile up behind it, or stack some railroad ties. If it becomes a problem, I don't think it's ever going to be an issue. At least not for the intended purpose of this barn. My intention for this is storage. Just somewhere to keep the sun and the rain off of my equipment. Like that Cotto excavator needs to be covered. My skid steer needs to be covered. And my wife doesn't like our yard up by the house being decorated with tractor implements. And a lot of those have hydraulic attachments and things that, they need to be undercover. So, yeah, I'm happy, excited. And it's not, 100% complete. Obviously, after digging all of our post holes, we've got a lot of dirt in here that needs to be moved out because it'll get muddy. It's clay. And I did kind of go a little too far out with the rock. I wanted rock out in front of it a little ways, but that means I've just got more gravel, more rock that I can come in here and re-level-ish this out with, because after 2 days of their skid steer turning and moving, and plus all the dirt being dug out of the holes, and we need to redo the pad in there. But this thing is cool. So in full transparency and honesty, I want to be honest with you guys and up front and clear. This was not a free barn. I didn't buy a hat and get a free barn. It was, this all started off because I was just telling you guys on video that I needed an equipment structure. And it just so happened that one of our followers builds barns for a living. Their family's been in business for, I think he said 30 plus years, a long time. They've been building barns for a long time. Now, we did work out a pretty sweet deal so that there's some promotional stuff for them. And Wolf Barns, I highly recommend them. This is my first wooden pole barn structure that we've put up, obviously. But to get this amount of work done in 2 days and high quality work, this is something that's going to be here for a long time. I highly recommend Wolf Barns. You go check them out, make your own decision. If you're looking for any kind of equipment shed, livestock shelter, a barn, maybe the shelf or a barn dominium, whatever it is, they're not just an Oklahoma-based company. So they build barns, I think he said, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, and Arkansas. So they cover a pretty big area. They'll come put up your building and be gone before you even knew what happened. simple enough. I was a little bit concerned about only having 10-foot spacing in these posts out here, but there's more than enough room. And you just got to be careful coming in. But, you know, I could easily back this all the way in with that zero tail swing, swing this boom around here and leave it back here and pull the skid steer in and park end to end and both be completely covered, completely shaded, out of the rain, out of the elements, and still have 4 stalls left to go. So perfect place for storing hay. We can store firewood and keep it dry. We can store all kinds of stuff. Right now I have a stack of leftover lumber, all 2x4s and stuff that I need to make some sort of storage rack. We could put you know, scrap lumber, leftover lumber pieces, because you always need a few extra 2x4s on a farm. You know that, Earl? There's always a project. So I'm excited. I'm happy. Huge thank you to Wolf Barnes for working with us on this and designing an equipment shed to keep things undercover and protected. So having said all of that, I guess that's going to wrap up the initial build. I'm sure this is going to be an evolving process. I may come in here and put some plywood on the walls so that we can, you know, hang things and do different things. Just, I don't know. I just think it would look clean and neat. But before I get the skid steer, which the skid steer is still in the shop, but before I get busy on the skid steer, refinishing in here, getting rid of the dirt and all that stuff, I'm going to go around and pick up as many of these leftover nails and screws and lag bolts and everything. There's always a few that fall, and we're going to be parking different things in here with tires that I don't want to poke holes in. So anyways, guys, that's all I've got for today. Remember, do something today to make somebody smile, because you never know, it just might change the world. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys have a great day, and as always, we'll see you on the next video.